Now, okay, so for the record, welcome to Survive to Thrive. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are going to pick up where we left off last week on the 14-point listing presentation. First off, I'm going to do a quick review, just checking, making sure everybody should be looking at a slide that says Kodak moment step 7. Can I get a thumbs up to make sure that's what you're looking at? Thank you, Dave. All right, let's review. All right, step 1, get the appointment. Now, if you weren't with us on Thursday, just jump on my YouTube page or jump on Survive to Thrive on Facebook. If you haven't asked to join that group yet, please do, and I'll add you today. The recording from Thursday is on YouTube and on my Survive to Thrive page, so go back and watch it, please. Step 2, soft interview. Super important. Do not ignore this. Step 3 is preparation for the appointment. Also critically important. Step 4, confirm and trial close. This is your first confirmation call. You're making the day of the appointment, and you're going to end that confirmation phone call with a trial close. Step 5, this is you're on the way to the appointment, and now is an opportunity to confirm the appointment for a second time. And if you didn't trial close the first time, now you have another chance. Step 6 is get on the listing channel. This is all about mindset. Step 7 is your Kodak moment. This is greeting them at the front door and your 10-second opportunity to make a great first impression. Now, step 8. Hold a second. Okay, yeah. Step 8, you're going to tour the home, take notes, ask questions, be enthusiastic, like their home. So critically important. Now, this is where we left off on Thursday, so let's go right to step 9, which is begin the conversation. We're going to do step 9 today. We're going to do step 10, which is our needs analysis. We're going to do step 11, which is prioritizing those needs analysis. And we're going to do step 12, which is talking about how we're going to achieve their goals. All right, I'm going to stop share because I want to be able to see everybody and not that PowerPoint slide. All right, step 7, you're at the kitchen table or whatever step that was. Maybe it was step 8. I lost track. Maybe I need to go back to the PowerPoint. Take yourself off mute if you remember what step we were on, so I'm not inside my head trying to figure out, okay, what is it, John? Never mind. I'm going to go back and look.
I think it was 7.
Step 10 is begin the conversation. Or
I'm sorry.
Step 9 is begin the conversation. There we go. By the way, I've revised this 14-point listening presentation several times over the last 15 years. So if you have an older copy and the numbers are different, don't know what to tell you. It's still the same presentation. All righty, begin the conversation. I am sitting at the kitchen table. Now, little things matter, so let me stop here for a second. When you sit down at the kitchen tables, always ask first, where would you like me to sit? All right, if you're at Archie Bunker's house and you sit in Archie Bunker's chair, the whole time you're at that kitchen table, he's sitting there going, he's in my chair, he's in my chair, he's in my chair. And he's not listening to you because you're in his chair. And if you don't know who the heck I'm talking about, jump on YouTube and just search. He's show from the 70s, by the way. All right, so where would you like me to sit? Now, I want to make sure that if I'm meeting with 2 people and I've got a husband and wife, for example, I want to make sure that I can see both of them. All right. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm sitting at the kitchen table like this, and I've got the husband over here and the wife over here. Now I'm playing tennis. In order to be able to have eye contact with both of them, I'm going back and forth like this. It'll totally throw you off. And it's not good connection with the 2 of them. So when you ask them, where would you like me to sit? And they say, sit right there. And then they do this, ask one of them to move. You're in charge here. Simply take charge and ask, hey, is it okay if I ask, can you move over here so I can see both of you at the same time? Thank you. Also, pay attention to the little things. If there's something on the kitchen table, like a big vase of flowers, for example, and you're doing this, looking around that vase of flowers, ask them if you can move it. Now, I use humor here, and I simply ask, hey, is it okay if we move this? If we don't, I'll probably knock it over, and you're not going to like me a whole bunch if I do that. If they ask you if you would like something to drink, the answer is yes. Get a glass of water. I always want to make sure there's a glass of water in front of me, not because I need to drink the water, but it lets me know if I'm talking too much. If the glass of water is empty by the time I finish that appointment, then I talked way too much. I want them to do most of the talking. Now, if they don't offer, ask. If you want to get your first yes, here's an opportunity to get the first yes of that appointment. May I have a glass of water? Yes, of course. Got the first yes. All right, begin the conversation. Emma, thank you so much for meeting with me. Just write down one word, guys, gratitude. Here's how you start the conversation. You start with gratitude. Emma, thank you so much for meeting with me today. It is always an honor and a privilege to meet with someone and discuss the possibility of the Dietz team helping them get their home sold. Be different. Start with gratitude. Most agents don't. It sounds simple. It is simple, and it'll make a difference. Emma, thank you for meeting with me today. It is always an honor and a privilege to meet with someone and discuss the possibility of representing them in the sale of their home. Now, I'd like to start by sharing my mission statement with you. My mission, Sean, is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. Now, Dave, because of that mission statement, whenever I meet with a potential homeowner, a potential client, a potential seller, one of three things usually happens. One of those things will happen today. All right, so let me pause for just a moment. I'm transitioning into the needs analysis. I begin this conversation with gratitude. I go right into my mission statement, which gives me the opportunity to transition right into the needs analysis or expectations, excuse me. Cross that out. I'm transitioning into expectations. One of three things typically happens when I meet with a client. One of those things will happen today. So Emma, whenever I meet with a potential client, one of three things typically happens. One of those things will happen today. Either they, not you, don't make this about them. It's third party. Either they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer and they hire me, which is awesome. Or they don't hire me, which honestly isn't so awesome. Now, if you've watched my 14-point listing presentation before on video, you'll notice it's exactly the same every time. I've franchised this presentation. When I'm at step 2 and it's or they don't hire me, and that's not so awesome, it's the same smile, it's the same little laugh, it's the same way I'm presenting those words. Now, listen for the embedded commands. One of three things typically happens whenever I meet with a potential client. One of those things will happen today. Either they understand and appreciate the benefits that I have to offer and they hire me. Hire me. It's important. Pay attention to it, which is awesome. Or they don't hire me, which isn't so awesome. Now, the third thing that occasionally happens is I may choose not to take the listing. Now, I'm going to pause right there, just like I did with all of you. Now, 2 to 3 seconds. Doesn't need to be longer than that. If it's longer than that, it gets weird. But just long enough to give them an opportunity to ask, why would you turn down the listing? I want them to ask that question, Brad. I'm hoping that they ask that question, Brad. But if they don't, then I'm ready to go with, you may be wondering why I would choose not to take someone's listing. I think you're actually going to really like the answer. You see, if I feel that a seller has a goal or an expectation that cannot be met or exceeded, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense? Of course, the answer to
Yes.
that is yes, right? Who's going to say no to that? So the answer is yes. 100% the answer is yes. Now, if they ask you, why would you turn down somebody's listing? I'm so glad you asked. You see, and I think you're going to really like the answer. If I feel that a seller has a goal or an expectation that cannot be met or exceeded, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Now, it didn't become about them until I got to, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. It was third party until I got to that point. Now, also pay attention to a seller has a goal or an expectation that cannot be met. It's not the seller has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet. Really simple mistake that a lot of real estate agents use or make. And if you say a seller has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet, then you're implying that somebody else can. So it has to be one of the reasons I would choose to turn down the opportunity, Darren, is if a seller has a goal or an expectation that cannot be met or exceeded, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense? Now, Joanne, if I know that I'm competing, because in my soft interview, I asked, are you meeting with other agents? The answer was yes. Awesome. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Because I know that they're meeting with other agents, I'm going to set my competition up to fail. And here's how I'm going to do that. You see, Brian, here's the really good news. I'm going to tell you, and this is rolling right after I would, if a seller has a goal or expectation that cannot be met or exceeded, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. I'm going to roll right into, you see, I know you're meeting with other agents, and because you're meeting with other agents, you're going to meet with someone who's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear to get your listing. Now, the good news for you, and please understand, the good news for you is I don't need your listing. Let that sit for just a moment. All right. I don't need your listing. Now, I really want to work for you, and that's why I'm here. But if I needed your listing, I would tell you anything that you wanted to hear to take your listing, and I would take your listing at any cost, even if I knew you were going to fail. And because I know you're meeting with other agents, you're going to meet with somebody who needs to take your listing. And because you're meeting with somebody who needs to take your listing, you're going to meet with somebody who's going to tell you everything you want to hear. And they'll take your listing at any cost. All right, now fast forward. They're in another appointment with another agent, and that agent is sharing with them, let's just say they're talking price. And that agent is giving them a price that even the seller knows they're not going to get. Now, the sellers are having that internal conversation. They might even look at one another and say, you know, that's exactly what John said was going to happen. John told us that we were going to meet with somebody who's going to tell us anything we wanted to hear. And all of a sudden, remember Lost in Space and the robot, danger, Will Robinson, danger, danger. That danger thought process goes off in their head. Danger, danger. This is not somebody we want to work with. You've set your competition up to fail. I don't need your listing. I really want to work with you, and that's why I'm here. However, if I needed your listing, I would tell you anything you wanted to hear just to get a sign in your yard. You see, if I put a sign in your yard and you don't sell your home, I still win. If another real estate agent puts a sign in your yard and you don't sell your home, they still win. It's called win-lose, and you're the one that lost. And with me, it has to be win-win or it's no deal. You see, that sign's going to generate phone calls. Those phone calls are going to turn into buyers. And that agent is going to use your home to get buyer leads that they're going to use in order to sell somebody else's home. How's that make you feel?
Used and abused.
Thank you, Sean. All right. All we've done so far is begin the conversation. Thank you for meeting with me. I like to start by sharing my mission statement, and we roll right into expectations. Expectations. One of three things happen when I meet with a potential client. One of those things will happen today. I'm empowering them not to hire me, and I'm telling them it's okay if you don't hire me. I'm also empowering myself not to take their listing, and I'm letting them know I may choose to turn down the opportunity. And we're going to transition right into a needs analysis. Now, Beth, in order for me to know, this is a transition statement. In order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple questions. Would that be okay? Now, somebody take yourself off mute. Let's role play this. And I'm going to slow it down because I really want to drive this home and how this works, everybody. I'm looking to see for a mic. Joanne, did you take us off mute to role play with me? Cool, let's do it. So, Joanne, in order for me to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple questions. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So, Joanne, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not so good and 10 being awesome, what needs to happen in the sale of your home for you to consider the experience a 10?
Well, we of course want to get the most out of it, John, but we really do need speed as a factor. I just don't want to give the house away.
Okay, so I'm off role play, guys. I'm hearing 2 goals, right? You heard 2 goals, right? You heard get the most out of it, which means she wants to get the most amount of money, by the way. And I also heard that she's looking for a quick sale. Okay, so back into our role play. Joanne, tell me what get the most out of your home looks like to you.
Well, we talked about 600 and that would just be great if we could get 600.
Understood. Tell me, what does that do for you?
Well, I mean, we are buying another house when we move south, and we have the business. So, we don't want to be strapped when we move.
Okay. So you're going to get the money out of the house that you need in order to buy the new home and also to fund your business. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Now, if we could accomplish a second goal, such that this would be a 10+ experience, what's next? Now, in this situation, off role play, I don't need to ask this question because I already know the answer to the question. So, Joanne, I heard you also say quick sale. I'm going to write this down as a second goal, by the way. Tell me what a quick sale looks like to you.
Well, a couple of weeks would be great. The showings are hard with the kids, and, if we could just get under contract, that would be ideal.
So having a contract within 2 weeks would be a 10 for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what that does for you.
Well, that way, we have the new baby, and if we can just not have to keep the house in tip-top shape and just be able to do this quickly.
Understood. All right, if there was a third goal, such that this would be a 10+ experience, what's next?
I think that's it. We really just want to be able to move on and as quickly as possible to eliminate the extra stress.
Got it. Okay. All right, so off role play, guys. And we're going to wrap up right here, by the way. I did not ask what's the one thing that needs to happen. Another mistake that real estate agents make. I'm not looking to prioritize goals yet. I'm just looking to get as many goals as possible. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so great and 10 being awesome, what needs to happen? It's an open-ended question, all right? Not what's one thing or what's the most important thing. It's what needs to happen in order for the sale to be a 10. Now, you're a detective and you're just taking notes. This is not a time to get into a dialogue back and forth. If Joanne said, well, $600,000, and I'm thinking, you're nuts. There's no way you're getting $600,000. This is not a time for me to have a conversation about that. I'm simply taking notes. And go 3 deep. Tell me what that means to you. What would that do for you? Why is that important? I'm going to go as deep as I can. I didn't go any deeper because of time, but when I'm sitting at the kitchen table, I probably are going to go at least 2 or 3 steps deeper. You want to go from snorkeling to scuba diving because the real motivation is down here. It's not up here. Now, if I continue this process with her, let me just give you a couple other answers you're going to hear, okay? Reduce your commission. I'm looking for a real estate agent that would reduce their commission. You're going to hear that. What does that mean to you? Well, I've had other agents offer to work for 4 or 5%. Cool. Why is that important? Well, it's going to give me an opportunity to net more money. Why is that important? Well, okay, you get it. You're also going to hear hassle-free. I don't want a whole lot of speed bumps. I want this to be a smooth transaction. And you guys get it. You're going to ask them, why is that important to you? What would that do for you? What does that look like for you? You're going to get and you're not going to stop asking until they've given you all of their goals. Now, the most I've ever gotten at a kitchen table is like 8. And for all of you high Ds, super painful. Oh my gosh. But on average, 3 at the most. Now, where we're going to pick up on Thursday is prioritizing the goals. In the transition statement there, Sean, if we can nail one of these goals and miss the other 2, what's number 1? What's the most important goal? All right, we'll pick up there on Thursday. All right, take yourself off mute. Talk to me. Tell me what you heard.
Leverage and control.
Go deeper on that, Darren. What do you mean?
Just controlling the conversation and setting yourself up to win by what you're saying and taking the legs out from your competition as well, like all in one swoop.
Yeah. 100%. You're right. Now, when you've internalized the conversation, the goal is not to show up at the kitchen table sounding like a robot.
Right.
The goal is not to sound scripted. Now, there were times, I'm sure, that I sounded very scripted because I was intentionally making sure that you heard the scripts the right way. However, my goal is to be able to have a conversation with you at the kitchen table that's just a conversation. I know it's a script. It's also a blueprint for me to follow. I can get off topic and come right back to where I left off. If I'm winging it, I totally can't do that. All right.
John, are you coming in with a blank piece of paper, or do you have something laid out for you that's helping you keep on? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
It's just a blank piece of paper. It's 100% what I'm doing. And I'm just taking notes. By the way, when I take the listing, this goes in the file.
Thought it was
I
real
like,
good how you framed it. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was going to say I like the subliminal messages. I don't know if I got that right. The hire me in 2 different spots where
Yeah.
you're telling hire me.
Yeah, they're called embedded commands, but you're good, Sean.
Embedded commands.
They're embedded commands, and just study neuro-linguistic programming, right? All right, Dave, you're up.
The expectation that, it's a job interview and you're setting the expectation where, hey, I may not take this if, there's a goal that cannot be met or expectation that cannot be met. And not, like you said, not just if I can't do it, but if it can't be done.
It cannot be done. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then setting up the other agent so that you're right, 2 days from now, 4 days from now, when they have that other interview. So they're thinking about you again.
That's right. That's right. Brian, your screen lit up.
Oh, I don't know. No, it just brings your professionalism to another level because most agents are coming in just begging for the business
That's
because they
right.
really need it,
That's
you
right.
know, and when you're able to walk away with pride for the right reason, they know that you sell a lot of homes and they know you're going to make the right decision for them because you're willing to make it for yourself.
That's right. There you go. All right, good work today, guys. That's a wrap for today. I'll meet you back here Thursday to pick up where we left off today. Tomorrow is script and role play practice. Please make sure that you're here for that.